Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now, guys. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL's offseason moves, you've probably noticed that the Washington Commanders are making some strategic shifts, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And today, I have some exciting news that could really shake things up. It's about a name that's been around the league for quite some time, a player who, despite some ups and downs, remains a credible threat off the edge. That name is Jadeveon Clowney. Yes, you heard that right. Clowney is potentially on his way to the Commanders, and folks, this could be one of the most impactful signings of the offseason for Washington. Now, before we get into the details, let's rewind a little and look at Clowney's career so far, because it's quite a story. He was the first overall pick in the 2014 NFL Draft, a pick that came with enormous expectations. Coming out of South Carolina, everyone thought he was destined to be a game-changer. And for a while, he looked like he might live up to that hype. Clowney has been named to 3 Pro Bowls, which is no small feat. Not every player gets that recognition. Over his career, he's accumulated at least 9. 0 sacks in 3 different seasons, showing that even if he's not putting up elite numbers every single year, he's still capable of making plays when it counts. He started his NFL journey with the Houston Texans, where he spent 5 seasons. Those years were marked by flashes of brilliance, especially in his early days. The Texans were always a team that relied heavily on their pass rush, and Clowney was at the heart of that effort. During his time there, he earned his first Pro Bowl selection, and he was seen as a disruptive force on the defensive line. But as we all know, NFL careers are rarely linear, and Clowney's journey has been full of twists. After Houston, he bounced around, playing for 5 different teams over the last 6 seasons. That kind of movement can sometimes be a sign of a player searching for the right fit, or trying to find consistency in a league that demands it. Most recently, Clowney played for the Carolina Panthers. And here's where it gets interesting. The Panthers, after a couple of tough seasons, announced they would release Clowney. That was a strategic move, likely to free up cap space and give the player a chance to find a new team. And it's no secret that at 32, Clowney isn't the young, explosive edge rusher he once was. But don't let that fool you. Even at this stage in his career, Clowney remains a productive player. Just look at last season with the Panthers and in 2023 with the Ravens. With Carolina, he managed to rack up 6 sacks in 44 pressures. Not elite, but respectable. And with the Ravens, he improved, tallying 10 sacks on 71 pressures. Those numbers show that Clowney can still get after the quarterback, and that's exactly what the Commanders need right now. This is where the fit becomes interesting. The Commanders, after losing Dante Fowler in free agency, are in need of a player who can bring pressure from the edge. Fowler was the team's sack leader last year, and his departure left a gap that needs filling. Washington tried to address it by signing Dietrich Wise, but let's be honest, they still need more talent in that department if they want to take the next step. Clowney's experience, his ability to generate pressure, and his veteran leadership could be exactly what the team needs to elevate their pass rush. And frankly, signing Clowney is a move that signals the team's clear intent to go all in this season. Now, I want you to think about the bigger picture here. The Commanders have been building something special under the leadership of their front office, especially with Adam Peters at the helm. They've made some smart moves this offseason, trying to create a team that can contend for a Super Bowl sooner rather than later. The offense, led by Jaden Daniels, looks lethal. The offensive line has been bolstered, and the team's weapons are coming together nicely. But for any team with Super Bowl aspirations, the defense has to carry its weight. And that means generating consistent pressure on the quarterback, disrupting the rhythm of opposing offenses, and making big plays when it matters most. Clowney, even at his age, still has the ability to do just that. His experience against top-tier offensive lines and quarterbacks is invaluable. Plus, his versatility allows him to line up on different spots along the defensive front. He can be a disruptive presence on third downs, a player who commands attention from the offensive line and opens up opportunities for his teammates. It's not just about individual stats, it's about the impact he can have on the entire defense. And here's another point to consider. The NFL is a league where veteran leadership often makes the difference. Clowney's presence in the locker room and on the practice field could serve as a motivating factor for younger players. His journey through ups and downs, his resilience, and his hunger to win, all of that adds a dimension of leadership that isn't easy to find. For a team that's been on the rise, adding a player like Clowney could really help solidify the defensive identity the Commanders are trying to build. So, what does this mean for the upcoming season? Well, if Clowney joins Washington, it could be a game changer. Imagine him teaming up with Dietrich Wise and other defensive linemen, creating a formidable pass rush that keeps quarterbacks on their toes. It's about setting the tone early in games, forcing turnovers, and giving the offense more opportunities to score. This signing could also send a message to the rest of the division that the Commanders are serious about competing at the highest level, ready to make a deep playoff run. Of course, there are still questions. Will Clowney be willing to accept a role that isn't necessarily a full-time starter? Can he stay healthy throughout the season? And will the team be able to integrate him quickly into their defensive schemes? Those are valid concerns, but given what we've seen from Clowney recently, he's still motivated, and he knows what it takes to compete at this level. The NFL's a league that rewards effort, experience, and the ability to make plays when it counts, and Clowney checks all those boxes. Now, let's look at the bigger implications for the NFC East. The division has been fiercely competitive, with the Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants all making significant moves to improve their rosters. The Eagles, for example, have one of the best defenses in the league, and the Cowboys are always a threat with their pass rush. The Giants, under new coaching, are also looking to make a leap. For Washington, signing Clowney could be the piece that finally allows them to get over the hump, especially in pass-rushing situations. It's about creating that edge, that unpredictability, and making quarterbacks think twice before dropping back to pass. And remember, the NFC East has a history of dramatic, high-stakes matchups. Adding a veteran like Clowney not only improves the team's chances on the field, but also sends a message that the Commanders are serious contenders. They're not just trying to compete, they're trying to dominate. This kind of move can shift the narrative around Washington, making them a team to watch in the upcoming season. And for fans, it's an exciting time, the hope that this signing could be the spark that gets the team back to the postseason, and maybe even beyond. Looking ahead, if Clowney signs with Washington, we'll be watching closely how he fits into the defensive scheme. Will he line up on the outside, rushing the passer? Will he be used in different packages to keep the offense guessing? And how will his presence motivate the younger players? Those are questions that only time will answer, but the potential is there. This signing could be the catalyst for a more aggressive, disruptive defense that makes life miserable for opposing quarterbacks. And let's not forget, the NFL is all about moments. Clowney's arrival in Washington could create some historic plays, game-changing sacks, and memorable moments that fans will talk about for years. It's a storyline that adds another layer to an already intriguing season for the Commanders. The team's aspirations are high, and with the right additions, they could very well be in the mix for a deep playoff run. The NFC East is tough, no doubt, but with Clowney on board, Washington is sending a clear message. They're here to compete, and they're not backing down. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Clowney is the missing piece to make this defense elite? Are you excited about the potential impact he can bring to the team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Washington Commanders news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. In conclusion, folks, this potential signing of Jadeveon Clowney to the Washington Commanders isn't just another offseason move. It's a statement. It's a move that could define the team's defensive identity for the upcoming season and beyond. Clowney's experience, his ability to rush the passer, and his leadership qualities could be exactly what the Commanders need to take that next step, and finally bring back that Super Bowl glory they've been dreaming of since 1991. The NFC East is packed with talent, but Washington making this move signals they're serious about competing at the highest level, about finally overcoming their division rivals, and about establishing themselves as a true powerhouse once again. So stay tuned, because the NFL offseason always has surprises, and the Commanders could be about to make one of their biggest moves yet. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you in the next update.